Hey, accountants out there, we don't need to slump our shoulders and feel like AI and technology is taking over our jobs and opportunity is being minimized. We're going to talk today about a bunch of reasons to be optimistic about why we're doing what we're doing. Let's dive in. All right, on today's episode of CAS Minute, we're going to talk about why you should be super optimistic about the space that we're in. So, if you look at the global market of back office outsourcing services, and I'm talking outsourcing to a local firm, not necessarily outsourcing to global talent, hiring offshore, things like that. So, the global market for back office outsourcing services was about $250 billion in 2023, and it's projected to grow at a CAGR of 6% from 2023 to 2030. That's a massive, massive growth trajectory and tons of opportunity for folks like us who are in the business of providing accounting services for other businesses. When you think about that total market cap, about 60% of the outsourced tasks for SMBs are accounting and bookkeeping. The next segment is payroll management, then human resources, and then we're starting to look at other more specialized items being outsourced earlier on in the life cycle of a business. When you think about the opportunity that exists for us to step into those roles and leverage AI and leverage technology to help our clients achieve better outcomes, we are really well positioned to continue growing our footprint, our services over the course of the next 7-10 years. Now, these data points are coming from established resources. However, we don't know what the future looks like. We don't really know exactly how our day-to-day is going to be impacted. We just know that it will be. And so to the extent that we're leaning into marketing, we're leaning into branding, we're leaning into advisory in terms of how do we understand our target market really, really well so we can support their growth, the opportunities will be there. And so there's a lot of doomsday type scenarios and conversation happening out there about AI taking over our jobs or private equity coming in and eviscerating the specialized nature of what we do and just creating this massive machine that cranks out cash flow. I don't think we really need to be that concerned about that. You're seeing an increased amount of productized solutions in the market, which I think is a good thing at the end of the day. It provides a really good segmentation of what we do versus what that productized offering is capable of achieving. I think it all comes back to relationship. When you're able to sit in the seat of your client, whenever you're able to relate to them because of your experience of running a firm, that puts you in a really, really good position to have a conversation with them, to empathize with them, to go alongside of their journey because you've got direct experience doing that. I posted on LinkedIn recently that I don't believe that big firms are well equipped to serve SMB. There are a lot of big firms that do that, but the number of layers between the individuals that are providing service to their clients and then the ones that are making decisions on how to provide that service, what services to provide, there's a massive gap there. And so the wider that gap is, I believe the less capable they are of serving the smaller businesses. Now, that's not always true because you may have some stellar folks that have experience in SMB that work at these large firms, but by far and large, I believe that to be true. I'd be happy to debate on that and have a conversation about it. I don't have specific data points there, but from what I've seen experientially from our clients that have been working with large firms and have come down to the small firm segment, that has been the case in terms of looking at the books and looking at it through the lens of there's not much relatability to the actual business model and strategy of the business. So when we start to look at the advisory component of this opportunity that exists in our industry, it's not just the routine and mundane tasks that are being outsourced. We're starting to see far more of the strategic functions be outsourced, whether it's FP&A, CFO advisory level services. When you're working with an outsourced partner, there is this expectation that the company will save money. And I believe that to be true on the average. More often than not, folks are comparing the cost of their services to a full-time employee. I don't know that that's always the right comparison to make because that's not always the decision point or a decision that the client is making. However, I do believe that when you look at the cost component of being able to drive efficiency in a business, outsourcing is a really efficient way to get there because we spend our entire day trying to figure out how to make what we do more efficient. We're able to do that on behalf of our clients and instill rhythms and cadences and workflows for them and hand that over to them to enable them to build a more efficient business, the value equation increases drastically relative to the price. So I think there's a ton of opportunity to step into more of those strategic services to educate clients on how and why what we do is critical to growth. And sure, that can be achieved via hiring full time. However, more often than not, that's not going to be the case because that one individual that they hire is usually focused on one task and doesn't have the resources of the team or hasn't spent the time trying to figure out how to make it the most efficient, the most scalable, and doesn't have the perspective that we have in the market. You should be optimistic about the future in this industry. If you're thinking about launching a practice, I believe now is still a great time. Focus on a market segment that you are really passionate about and build something that you love. I hope that's encouraging to you today. Till next time.